Okay, so I thought I had a shift today, which I didn't. That's tomorrow instead. So I sort of just I prepared everything to leave, right? And then I figure out right at the last minute that I don't have a shift today. So, well, I'd sort of planned my day around that, so I don't really know what to do now. Or in other words, I found out really quickly because the Welcome to NOXUS cinematic was released and it is made in collaboration with Fortiche and it is exploring the universe of Arcane, right? And that's so fucking dope. So I figured, why don't we watch it together and sort of just take a look at what's happening? Because keep in mind that this is missing quite a lot of context, right? Because there are some things that are going to be a little bit weird. And we're going to talk about that. So, a general consensus about the world of Arcane is that it changes the source material. It changes the source material, that's just what it does, and that's fine, right? That's sort of like also one of the reasons why Arcane shouldn't have been the main canon, because it is some things that sort of won't really work outside of Arcane. But it's fine, it's fine. We'll be fine, right? We'll be fine. But let's take a look. So right off the bat, we just get the classic Fortiche style. Wait, I just realized the browser's not playing any sound. Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. We'll just, I'll fix that right away. Huh. Weird.
NOXUS is where the strong gather. It seeks the fearless and defiant, calling them here to answer one simple question. Are you...
Right, so people have sort of been theorizing about what... Wait, I don't... No, never mind. I don't think this is the one they theorize about. Because I know it doesn't really look like him that much, but I'm very, very sure that this is supposed to be Atakan in some way. Or at least depict him. Like him coming into the map of League of Legends and him getting his own comic in a few days. Like, I don't know, every point is trying, or is sort of telling me that that's Atakan, right?
strong enough?
Then we have Mel arriving on the shores of NOXUS. So this is the other thing, right? Okay, so... Wait.
Strong enough.
So the map of League of Legends, or rather, the map of Runeterra. It's kind of like, well, you make it in Arcane and in this cinematic, you make it seem like Noxus is this faraway land, which it is not. In fact, Piltover and so on and Noxus are probably the two closest regions, like apart from like Piltover Zone being like the sister city, right? I think so anyway. I may be wrong, but like the distance between them is at least on the closer end. They probably don't beat the Shadow Isles and Bilgewater. But I do find it a little funny because it's a little bit like, okay, are you gonna change the map, or is it just because it was faster to sail? And that's most definitely the answer, right? It was just faster to sail. Also, something else I'm going to point out is how the... Wait, no, it doesn't really matter in this image. But I have an issue with the Noxian soldiers. I do not think that they are designed particularly well compared to the source material. I think that they are straight downgrade. And I could accept it for for, you know, Ambessa's like Legion or whatever, like her sub army. But I do not think that it at all works. I probably should have said it when Darius is on screen instead. But I don't think it works when he's on screen. I think it's honestly kind of, in some weird way, it's kind of heartbreaking. Because it's really cementing that a lot of stuff is sort of just being cut in half about like the original source material. A lot of stuff that's really cool. Like Noxian soldiers generally, the weapons and the armor that they are wearing are not specifically designed for them. They are almost always reused, and they've just found the best pieces of individual armor that sort of works in conjunction with each other in creating something that will protect the person, right? And they find a weapon that they then perfect their skills with. It's not like, you know, all of them just got spears or whatever. Like, everything is made out to be like in this cinematic and in Arcane as well. Like, they aren't uniform. That's the entire deal with the Noxian Legion. They aren't uniform. They are very chaotic, right? Despite of them being one of the most formidable military, just militaries on the planet, right? I think there are only a few that could probably straight up beat them in a 1v1, like specifically the fuck are they called? Trifarian Legion, right? The utmost, most capable Noxian soldiers. Even they have chaotic, random pieces of armor that they've just decided to wear, right? But the only ones that can really stand up to them are, well, we know that the Dauntless Vanguard of Demacia can, right? And shout out to my boys, I fucking love them, so I'm gonna elevate them a little bit, just say the Demacians are absolutely gonna fuck up the Noxians if they ever try anything. But other than that, we probably have the Frost Guard, and we probably also have some kind of Emperor's Legion or something in Shurima, right? And those two armies are probably the only other ones that can like directly battle Noxians, and or at least the Trifarian Legion, right? And I'd imagine that specifically the Shuriman and the Freljordian ones have a lot of magic in their fighting too, which once again just makes it so that Demacia just straight up gains a shit ton of value all of the time because of Petricite. It's so fucking crazy how broken it is. But Riot's just been ignoring it every single time. Like the city itself, you could never actually really have a mage revolution because you can't cast a spell inside Demacia. The whole fucking place is made of Petricite. All right, and you might say, well, that's too big of a story limitation. We have to sort of ignore that. We have to try and make a story around. I'm sorry, I'm going off a tangent, but I'm just gonna finish this one. But in reality, I think that just make a better story, no? Can't you just, like, there must be some way. Like, it's fair to make it that Silas could probably pull the magic out of the walls that have absorbed magic, right? That seems feasible. Like, given he has to do something to attain it, like maybe touch it and channel and something like that, maybe that hurts him. But like, that's not far-fetched. It's pretty far-fetched that an entire mage revolution can just happen like the way it did specifically. Also, this is another thing that's been bothering me. Basically, the way that people are ignoring the idea of anti-magic, as in like in total, because it's like people generally vote some champions and some types of characters and beings very, very, very highly, like incredibly high, out of proportions. Okay, something like an ascended like Nasus or Renekton, they get blown out of proportions. The Darkin get blown even more out of proportion. And for some reason, people seem to think that Galio is just some statue that's gonna get destroyed by anything he goes up against that's like his size. And okay, once I finish this one, because, oh my fucking god, I'm such an idiot, whatever. Once I've finished this point, we'll just only talk about Noxus, okay? I'm sorry. But I have to finish this. So, Galio is the biggest, is the single biggest anti-magic construct that exists, and he's alive, and he fucking gains power by eating magic, right? He disables any fucking attempt at casting spells near him. And like, he maybe doesn't completely just nullify it, but he, at least for powerful sorcerers, he makes it really, really hard. Like, you don't just get to be Vladimir, walk in there and use all of your shit, right? You are going to be very, very nerfed. And normal mages probably couldn't even cast a spell near him. And if he were to go up against something like like a Darkin even, I just don't see how he wouldn't just literally step on them. The Darkin uses blood magic, first of all, which they use to like reshape themselves and replenish themselves, or they use it to do shit to the enemy. But, well, Galio's not made of blood, and second hand, even if they did have some magical power to back them up, or like in this case, you know, use the blood magic to do something with their own bodies, yeah, good luck casting that spell or using that. Like, I can't with, I just don't see a world where Galio isn't actually a lot more powerful than he's made out to be. Like, and I'm not saying that this is specifically the case, but in my headcanon, if Galio can actually go face to face with some like demigods or whatever, like the Freljordian one specifically, if they don't have enough followers or like people praying to them at a single time, because like the amount of magic that he's gonna pull out, maybe that's not like you may it's really difficult to even try to justify, you know, having a clear picture of what that would even means, right? But the point is, in my headcanon, it wouldn't be a one-sided fight. It would actually be even. Let's watch the cinematic. I'm sorry. So yeah, the soldier designs, kinda iffy about that. Okay, so we get to the silken dance thing, and we have Katarina, who's set to kill someone, and we don't really have any context about it. Then we have Noxians in Freljord about to have a beatdown with his frontal, and I gotta say, Darius looks shit. He really looks like, and it may just be me. It may just be okay. So the thing is, I actually like that they change his look in the way that they did. This is obviously an homage to one of the old pieces of art. I don't remember if it was intended for a cinematic once, or whatever that was. I think it was intended for a cinematic once, that Darius had this like piece of artwork that very much mirrors how he looks right here. And this specific scene, in fact. But I do like that they don't just go, well, this is what Darius looks like. They are actually kind of confident and just try to change it. I think that's cool. I think it's cool that they try to change something that isn't broken, but still make it really good. Do I think this is really good? I gotta be honest, I base Darius from League of Legends looks fucking awesome, so I'm not vibing completely with it. I don't think it looks that good, but he definitely does look like a real person. Like I've met someone who has like some of these distinct features. I think that's cool. I think he looks like he would have a geographical place of origin in the real world. Like you could I think it makes sense. I think his hair is wild, but that's an interesting call to go with like his very old hairstyle and sort of mixing it up with sort of the other iterations and stuff like that. I just think even if it might be a little silly, also it has that military kind of, it's not very short in the way military hair is, but it is like, I don't exactly know what to call it, but there's something about it that tells me that there's some very strict grooming going, or just, hairstyling about it, right? Which I think is really cool. I still think he looks stupid because I really like League of Legends Darius look. But yeah, I do still think that it's great that they do try to do something new. I think his axe looks like shit. I'm sad that they kept his axe the way that it is, because I don't think it looks good in any way. It's like a Darius is generally a remnant of old League of Legends, but he was just on the border to the new, or rather, he was about on the border of the new League of Legends as well. So they incorporated a lot of old Darius into new NOXUS, right? And that's why he's been able to keep up with time. For some reason, they decided to remove those things here. And I'm on it. I gotta be honest. Like, well, his armor looks so bad. Like, it looks so bad. His pauldrons are completely, I don't know why. Why did you do that to them? It looks so bad. It looks really, really bad. And he has his bare arms out, which is kind of weird. But I accentuate strength and all that. I think it's fine. Anyway, I have a Darius design that I'm going to try to pull up. If I can do that without showing you some random ass folder that might, I don't fucking know what I might have in it. Actually, we'll just try it out now, and otherwise I'll just cut it out. Fuck. Okay, let's see. Did I show anything I shouldn't show? I don't know. It's not like I know I have something lying around, okay? Just relax. No. Okay, basic. Yeah, okay, sure. I can. This is fine. Alright, so the thing I wanted to show you guys was my own Darius. And before you laugh out loud, relax, okay? Yes, I can't draw, so yes, I did put a bunch of pictures together, okay? It's just how it's gonna be. That you're gonna have to deal with it. But I want to go over my thought process behind why these are the changes that I made to Darius, because right away they might not seem like a whole lot, like they're any big, right? But in reality, I think that if Riot went ahead and like used some of these points, they could make a character that is much cooler than he already is, which is incredible because he's already really fucking cool. So basically, let's take a look at Darius. We want to show off his muscles because he's strong, sure. So what do? Well, mold some armor that is specifically molded to fit his muscles, right? Do it for his arms, do it for sort of like his wing, right? That works perfectly fine. You don't have to give him a helmet all of the time, but giving him a helmet that is the crest of Noxus would be really cool and fitting, and even though it would be impractical, it's meant to be ceremonial probably, or something like that, or whatever the fuck, right? It would be cool, that's the point. You could also make it a lot more Warhammery. You don't need to have this massive thing, right? You could make it a lot smaller and make it look better, because obviously I just took an icon from an esports team, actually, I think. It's a long time since I did this. Then I went ahead and cut off his hand and there are a lot of points, so I won't go over all of them, but actually let's just stick to like the silhouette, because that's what I think is important and what I think that Fortiche is really missing, which makes me sad. But one, his back armor should be really big because, well, it sort of accentuates his role in the Triferics, his throne, right? His boots are big and fat and really sturdy like the Warhammers, and also like his entire armor is just much bigger, and he is like a smaller human within a big piece of armor. And it's not like because we also gotta show that he's the one that is capable, so we cannot take away too much. So that's why we have the armor that is molded to his muscles as well, right? But we gotta make him stand out and be a presence. That is not a presence, all right? I'm just saying that stuff. Also, they seemingly updated the NOXUS logo, as you can see on the banners in the background, and also the one that was shown when Darius showed up. So that's kind of interesting. Trundle looking fucking crazy. I like it. I don't know. Usually he has some rock bones showing off of his skin, which he doesn't have here. That's a little sad. I think that's really cool. But I think he looks fucking great. And Trundle is smaller than he usually is here. I still think that this works. I think this size works for him. I know that people are generally unhappy about whenever characters are made smaller. In this case, it doesn't work for Darius. He's slightly smaller. It's like Thin Garen kind of stuff, right? But I don't really think it works for him, but it works for Trundle. Trundle can be an interesting character and a really powerful presence, regardless of whether he's this size or the one that he was in the other cinematic or the one that he is in the splash shot, right? Or Legends of Runeterra for that matter. It doesn't really matter that much that he has to be free. So Mel arrives in Noxus. And so the entire Mel thing in this cinematic, I just find it weird. And I find it weird because, like, for one, she has an absurd amount of power now, which feels a little bit out of proportions as well. Just like some of the things I mentioned earlier. So that kinda sucks, but won't think too much about it. Maybe we're lacking context, right? She could easily have been practicing a lot in her ship to Noxus. So and even if, as long as she remains an interesting and a good and well thought out character, it doesn't really matter that she's jumped this far this quickly. But it is a little weird, right? The thing is also that she probably was that strong, or at least somewhat down that path already in Arcane. So it's not like it's a huge jump from that. Back to the Silken Dance. Katarina, so hot. So she has the target. We don't know who the fuck the guy is, I think. So it's this dude down here, right? correct me if we do know who he is. I don't think we do. Okay, I was kind of wondering if that's someone we know. Because is that just straight up her mask? I think it is. That is so fucking cool. Wait, might that be Elise? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is Elise. That's such a dope mask for her. That is so fucking cool. That has to be her, right? Yeah, it is. It has to be. And then she takes it off, right? That would have to be the case. Yeah. So Elise knows in advance that, okay, an assassination is going to take place right now. That has to be the case. Oh shit, I didn't even... I'm so blind. I wondered how she lost her mask, but... Elise just cuts it in half. Crazy. Just pausing to see if this is anything. I don't think it is anything. If you find some kind of meaning in this, like, image, just comment, right? Is it her? I can't tell if the other one was Elise. It would have to be in some way, right? It also had, like, the red circle in the forehead. And that was a different part of, like, that was a part of her mask, whoever we saw. So I don't know if this was underneath. I don't know. Anyway, it's very interesting. Shilu, oh my god, she's so fucking cool. So cool. I actually also did a redesign for Elise. Wow, that's crazy. And remember, I can't draw, so I just mixed together some pictures. Wanna see it? There we go. It's Lady I don't know, like the vampire from Resident Evil. And then I gave her 3 types of spider legs coming out of her dress, which is a black rose dress. And I was like, okay, I think this fits really well for Elise. Basically, it's just a vampire lady, but with spider instead of like vampire or whatever. In reality, if the vision I had was to actually be made, she wouldn't look exactly like this, right? But she would kind of have the same stature, kind of have this a lot of the same feel, but with the spider legs. And then I wanted to give her the Black Widow kind of motif of her hourglass figure, which is also why I think it makes sense that she should have like very big boobs, probably. Also, she's a seductress, right? So I think that's fine. I think it's really poorly made in like her base design in League of Legends, but I think reducing her cup size or whatever it's not really necessary and actually kind of works against the character, specifically because of this, right? There is also like a part of or like a point to spiders having this bulbous, like, I don't remember what it's called, but like their back body piece is like it's massive, right? And honestly, you know, yeah, it could be pretty good. I think she should have massive boobies. It's just I think that works for her. I also think that she, I tried to do the rose very poorly. I tried to do the rose motif at the top of her dress. This is something that the Renata skin for Mask of the Black Rose was, was designed with. I tried to do that for Elise originally because I thought it was an interesting idea that makes a lot of sense. In reality, I think LeBlanc is probably the one that should have had that kind of design, but also she doesn't have it in Arcane now, or the universe. but I do think that Elise should look a little bit closer to this. I think this kind of her mask is fucking awesome. I would prefer if it was real eyes instead of pretend eyes, but her mask is awesome and her movement and all that is really cool. Katarina being super fucking hot, and this is so fucking cool. And she's just, what? She is just spitting venom. And also, I don't know what's happening with her irises, but that's so dope too. Oh wait, she literally has like multiple irises. That's fucking cool. That is so cool. Holy shit. And then Darius and Struntle. And anyone who like is interested in the lore probably knows how True Eyes works. And it's a little bit like Darius should technically just be dead. But retcon, you know, power moment, whatever, it's kind of thrown out the window to have a cool moment. And if it can be justified, it's fine, right? But like you can rewrite the story a little bit around that. You can make it so that you're not instantly dead by touching it. But yeah, it's fine. Even if it does suck a little bit, it's not as bad as some of the other stuff, I think. This is also just... What the fuck are you doing? You are Darius, the Hand of Noxus. You are literally one of its leaders. And this is how you choose to fight an ice troll. The king of them. And he has a fucking True Eyes club. What is wrong with you? Truly the most Noxian moment of all time. Well fucking done. And funnily enough, he loses because he's 1v1ing Trundle. Like this idiot. What is happening? So I was about to be really like, you know, I don't want Darius to win this fight because it doesn't fucking feel good. It feels terrible. So when I saw this, I was a little bit on the edge because like, oh boy, this is going to be so dope if it's good. And it's going to be so ass if it's not, right? I just realized something. White streak in his hair, or gray streak. This might be when he's a little bit younger, so that could actually be a pretty fair point to him not being like his final champion. Anyway, he tries to tackle Trundle, and then he just gets fucked, and that's so funny. And Trundle just removes his armor and bites it off, which is so cool as well. And then he just fucking murders him. That's so good. I think it's a little bit that Darius can even like sustain this kind of damage, at least as much as he did. But regardless, it still feels good to watch Trundle beat the shit out of him and almost pull his head off. That's so metal too. And you see this kind of stuff, like what is happening with the True Eyes is clearly like fucking him up. I don't know. I just feel like he should theoretically be dead right now, but it's whatever. So he smashes it into the head of Trundle. Trundle isn't dead because it was like flat-faced. Like the axe was, he hit them with the flat part, and also he was breathing. So. Mel's walking around doing some weird things to looking at a Nox Tora, I suppose. All this kind of stuff, well, I mean, it's just kind of like what is happening. So, the Mortal Bastion shows up behind her somehow. I don't know what is happening. It's not that it's an issue, it's just out of context, right? Like, are the Nox Tauros now actual gates to Noxus? I don't hope so. I hope it's just figuratively this thing. This scene, rather. And that's also just, it's creepy and it's nice. It's kind of pathetic that Katarina is fighting off these small spiders like they are the biggest danger to society ever. It's like, she's really just a bitch that doesn't like spiders. That's what I'm getting here. And we still don't know who that is. I think also something else, I think there's a lot of character and story that Katarina would have to go through before she's allowed to have moments like these. That she, and like things that she hasn't actually received yet. So I think that her entire character, the feel of it is being rushed a little bit. Because she is a complete hothead who acts who acts irrationally. At least that's the character that was made before the comic. I don't remember much of the comic. I just remember that I thought it was really fucking bad. And like just a bunch of random ass plot points that didn't end up doing anything and were just made for feel good for people who, I don't know, read it like a Marvel movie. It was not good. I'm sorry guys, it just wasn't good. I'd gladly take a look at the Katarina comic and discuss it with you at some point. But trust me when I tell you that shit was not good. Like, she escaped Demacia on a silver-winged raptor, which she somehow could ride. And that's like world-building stuff, right? There's a bunch of world-building stuff that was just ignored, and like a bunch of just epic moments for the sake of epic moments, right? Where it didn't really make sense. Then the raptor was shot down by Jeridan, and she fell onto a fucking snail. Okay, yeah, whatever. It was a bad comic, okay? Also, the Mage Seeker, like the game just gonna like stab that in the back as well. That was also shit, at least the story was. The game itself was really good, I thought, but the story was so fucking bad, it's crazy. People have a massive misconception about what Demacia is story-wise and what like the entire mage conflict is supposed to display, but we'll talk about that another time as well. Extremely cool stuff. Amazing fight scenes. So Grey Legion, interestingly, that is absolutely what this is. So basically, you know, Scion people made by the Black Rose. So Mel is, I don't know why, I don't really, like, Mel is hunting down the Black Rose, and I think it might, well, the idea is that they killed her big brother, right? And they also sort of hunted her mother, and she feels, you know, some kind of anger and resentment towards them, and for that reason she wants to hunt them down or whatever, I guess. I don't know, like, it's little, her story could go a lot of ways. She could also just really become very evil, probably. I don't think she's gonna be that, but it's not unreasonable. So some mages that just get obliterated right away. I also don't know what that is. This is so fucking dope too. So Katarina is successful right now because Katarina killed the guy, right? And I don't know what the fuck the guy's doing either. I mean, he kind of looks like he just wanted to die at some point level. But yeah, well, he died. And Elise is just Oh my fucking god, that is so dope. And like the entire imagery just mimicking a spider's web, and it's just so fucking dope. My one issue is that she's so big that she might as well just be Vilemore herself. I don't actually want that, but like, she's really fucking big. So, could be like, I don't know, visual manipulation or whatever, but still. Darius still being a fucking idiot. I don't understand this. Like, was that just a face-off between the Noxian general and the Troll King for whoever gets to like claim the Everrosen's buttholes? Is that what's going on? Like, Ash is actually in the middle of this, and both of the groups are just like, no, me want Ash butt. And then Darius is like, you're not gonna get Ash butt. That's for Noxus. Swankle don't I don't like. What is happening here? It's cool though. I mean, they also have troll shamans here, which is good. But I don't know why they're just backing off. I guess that's just lack of context. Oh, also, just gonna put it out there real quick. A lot of these plot points are probably gonna be brought up in like lore being published around the new seasons. Okay, so just let's relax. We're gonna get context for these kind of things. And this is like in between stuff, most likely anyway, in between stuff before the NOXUS show comes out, okay? I don't think we're gonna see this stuff in the NOXUS show. We might see actually some of these exact scenes in the NOXUS show. But I have a feeling that much of this is just, you know, sort of on the side projects, right? Filling in the gaps between the shows and between the different lore pieces, because they are going, I don't remember what the term is. I think it's something with A, but like splitting their like publish pieces out between different mediums, right? Yeah, I don't know. It just looks weird. Oh, they are carrying Trundle out. It's also like, if you're an ice troll right now, you're kind of looking at your king like he's fucking pathetic. I don't. It's kind of like, yes. Okay, Trundle, you just lost to a human. Good job. Good job, Trundle. And it's like, why does Trundle always have to lose? Well, actually, what the fuck am I saying? I think this is the first time we've actually seen him even lose or win anything. Yeah, never mind. But it feels like characters like him always lose. But it's also like, the issue is also, Darius is a more popular character. He's a human character. He's arguably, very, very arguably, a morally better character, right? He's a Noxian, okay? And Noxian's baseline are just kind of bad people. But I suppose he's better than an ice troll who, in a very gritty setting, probably would do some very real life, extremely bad stuff to other people. I'm not just talking about murder. I feel like if Trundle was truly realistic, yep, those ash buttholes gotta fucking flee for their lives, okay? Oh god, that was so... Why did I say that? Fuck's sake. Is that against, like, terms of use? I don't... Oh, whatever the fuck it is for like, publishing video. I don't know. Take it down if you want to, okay? But yeah, it's also like... If it was the other way around, Darius would just straight up be dead. So... Okay, so there's just kind of... there wasn't really anything behind it. Behind, like, Noxus suddenly appearing, or the Immortal Bastion suddenly appearing. It's so weird. It's like, what is this? She's just Mel being prevented from coming back to Noxus? What? It's what? What? It's so weird. Then we get our dear LeBlanc and Vladimir, which is so dope. Fucking love it. I love it. The only issue I have, as I also mentioned earlier, is the fact that the crest of LeBlanc's dress is not a rose. A rose? It's like, that feels like it really should be for her, right? Also, we get to see her true face, which is kind of... because like she is the deceiver. But it's... I don't know. I don't mind it that much. Really happy she got an update though. Her face is very interesting. I like it. She's kind of like a real human being that you
to lead us closer to
snog in a club.
Perhaps we should focus on the opportunity.
Vladimir also looks good. Okay, there are some things I'm not a big fan about with this Vladimir. I feel like the base design for Vladimir actually has a lot of charm and some really, really interesting and really fitting design things going on about it. Now, it looks kind of stupid, but I don't think you have to fix that much to fix it entirely. And I do think this is like a really bare bone version of Vladimir. But that's also fine. I mean, he can have a different wardrobe for different occasions, right? What else? Also, he changes his face from time to time because that's the kind of dude he is. Well, it's long story. Vladimir's law. Okay, that's the context for that.
It's washed up on our shores.
So the face thing's fine. Right, so once again, this looks like Atakan when it comes to the silhouettes. Please do let me know if I'm wrong.
Foreseen turns are simply part of any path.
Yes, but that, darling, is a step too far. Even for us.
Piltover was a lesson, Vladimir. Calamity is always approaching. In some moments, its arrival is more imminent than others. Our next...
I love this sort of papercraft aesthetic that they have going for the magic she's using here. I think that looks so dope. Also, like, the fact that her magic isn't tied to a single form of aesthetic and, like, output is just kind of... It's just so cool.
Next move must be bolder, not safer.
So what the fuck is this? People have been saying it looks like Neferi, and I think that's the only thing that it looks like.
Bolder,
I don't think there's anything that comes close. Clearly, it's a blade, and very clearly too, there's an eye in the middle of it. So, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna send Samira to Shurima to retrieve it? I don't know. I don't fucking know. Neferi, really? Neferi, okay. The issue with this is that Neferi is such a new character, or such a recent character, that it literally cannot be her. Literally. I think, okay, maybe, like, she has she crossed the 2-year mark now? Wait a second, let me just think here. Because last summer we got... Yeah, so she's 1.5 years away. Which means they would have had to go instantly. Wait, no, she has development time too. Interesting. Okay, they could have actually considered Neferi. I think. What else would that be, like that specific thing? It's crazy. Oh well. I shouldn't have said the thing about Trundle. Fucking hell. I take that back. I got carried away. Sorry, guys. Not just because it's politically probably incorrect, or rather is politically incorrect, but also just because Trundle doesn't have to be a bad dude just because he kind of looks like he might be and kind of acts like he might be. Well, he is a bad dude. But people like Trundle, so how about we don't say these kind of things about Trundle? Yeah. So this is the other thing. This is like someone mentioned how this is basically an extended post-credit scene, which is really funny because that's absolutely true. I'm so like I think generally this stuff is a hit, right? I think it's a hit. I think the only things that are really, really jarring in a bad way that I can't justify is Darius. Darius can actually kind of be justified, honestly. He kind of can if they do something different with him when he's a little bit older. But we have Darius. Then we have Elise, who I think should look a little bit different, as we discussed. And the Mel thing is a little weird. The Noxian soldiers look bad. And I think LeBlanc should have had the rose thing. Maybe she does have it right. Wait, I can't tell. Oops, that's not what I wanted to click. I can't actually tell. Is that... Must be a rose on her neck, right? Maybe she doesn't have to have it. Maybe it's fine that she just has the symbol on her neck and instead has the collar. I think, yeah, maybe that's fine. Because, like, anyone could have... Any member could have the rose petal motif on the crest of their dress. Doesn't have to be LeBlanc, even if she is the leader. Although I think it makes sense, but... Because, like, she's the head of the rose, right? Okay, no, she has to have it. Never mind. She's the one that would have had to have it, I think. Whatever. I've been talking for 52 minutes, which is funny because I'm not Necrit, but I saw this dude say 52 minutes. So that's funny. Anyway, I think I'm just going to end this here. I might have promised pulling something up, but I'm not going to do that because I don't remember what it was. I'll just end it here. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Do let me know if you want to, or rather if you want me to take a look at the Katarina comic, and if you want me to take a look at other stuff, like maybe, you know, the Demacia storyline. Bye.